Well, hey, welcome back to Collector of Stuff. Where have you been? I've been right here the whole time. Where did you guys go to? Glad to have you back. Seriously, though, I do apologize. It's been several months since I've posted anything new to the channel, but hopefully you have noticed that I have been watching your videos and commenting as much as possible. And I won't go into all the details as to why it's taken me so long to post another video. There's been several reasons that just sort of all came together at the same time. But while I've been gone, you can tell that I've been evolving or morphing into a new collector of stuff. You can see my hair is different. I'm growing the beard out. The goal is to eventually look like Leon Russell. So, no, I'm just kidding. I don't know what it's going to be like. But I'll still be the same old ugly me. The Ugly Monty! Welcome to the Ugly Monty Show. Hey, everybody, it's Ugly Monty. Anyway, I've still been buying and collecting all kinds of stuff. I've got comic books new, back issues. I've got toys, I've got action figures, Hot Wheels, movies, CDs, trading cards, sports cards, magazines, oh my gosh, all kinds of stuff out the wazoo. So if you keep your fingers crossed, you'll be bombarded with a whole bunch of new Collector of Stuff videos over the next couple of weeks. Because I got a lot of stuff I need to video catalog, and before I can start sorting, filing it and organizing it and putting things away, I like to share them with you guys first. So, got a ton of stuff, and you can see part of my Hot Wheels collection. I'm backwards here on the wall here behind me. So, anyways, anywho. Glad to be back with you guys. Hope you enjoy this video. I thought to kick things back off and restart, I would do a video on what I am currently reading, collecting, or in my pull list, my sub list, which I get from Midtown Comics from in New York. This is my pull for the last 2 weeks. All right here. Let me straighten it. There you go. See that a little bit better there. This is my last 2 weeks worth of books, and that's not all that's in my pull list, but it gives you a good idea of what I'm reading. And I don't know that I've done a video like that before. If I have, it's been a long time. So I thought some of you guys might be interested in seeing what is the new current stuff that I'm reading. So if you are ready to get your hands dirty, let's get to it. Alright, I'm going to start off. The first third or so of this stack is the books that I've read so far since I got them. So I'm going to start with those, and then we'll go into the books I haven't been able to get to yet. So we're going to start off with an issue number 1 of a brand new title from Dynamite Comics called King's Quest. And if this looks familiar at all to you, it features characters from King Comics. You'll see King and Dynamite there on the bottom corner where my finger is. Largely from comic strips that we used to get in the newspapers daily and weekly. This is a team-up series featuring all of those classic characters from King comic strips. Flash Gordon, the Phantom, Prince Valiant, Jungle Jim, the magician guy whose name is suddenly left me. I cannot remember. Who is it? Somebody the magician. Anyway, cool to have a team up with Flash Gordon, Phantom, and Prince Valiant. So really cool. This was a lot of action in this first issue, so I'm very excited to see where this book goes. This was just issue number 1 that came out last week or the week before, so should still be readily available if these characters mean anything to you or are recognizable at all. Oh, my girlfriend has joined me here. My live-in girlfriend, which my wife approves of. Her name is Phyllis. You might can hear her. She may jump up here in a minute. My girlfriend has 4 legs, a fluffy tail, whiskers, and loves to have her belly rubbed. So she might be up here in a minute. Okay, book number 2 is also a number 1 new title. This is from Black Mass, called 4 Kids Walk Into a Bank. And I absolutely love this book. I cannot wait to see where this is going. I got as excited about this one as I did Paper Girls when issue number 1 of that came out. Basically, in a nutshell, there are 4 kids that the story kind of centers around one girl, the only female of the group. They're all kind of outcasts and nerds, and they all have certain quirks and issues. One of the kids cusses too much. One of the kids is very shy and just, doesn't talk very much. But they're all good, technology, nerdy, sciencey kids, in school. And at the girl's house one day, 4 bad guys, seedy guys, knock at the door asking for her dad, and her dad pretends or acts as if he doesn't know them and points a gun at them and tells them to go away. Meanwhile, days later, they follow the girl to school, offer to give her a ride home so they can talk with her. She won't go unless the other friends in her group come with her. They do take her home, but her dad advises her to stay away from them. And as far as I know, the premise is going to be that the kids get involved in a bank heist in order to save and protect her dad from being caught. They kind of feel that these are going to be bumbling idiots who are going to get caught unless they help them with the bank job. So that's not giving anything away. That's been in their promotional materials for this book, for weeks and months now. So very excited. 4 Kids Walk Into a Bank. Pick it up if you haven't already. Great first issue. I was so excited by that. From Titan Comics, we have Independence Day number 2. This going hand in hand with the new Independence Day, what is it called? Independence Day Resurgence, or Independence Day something like that. It's the second Independence Day, the sequel, coming out, the blockbuster coming out in just a few weeks this summer. I do not know if the story or the plot in this issue, this title, coincides with the movie or not. I really don't know. The trailers that I've seen in the movie don't seem to be anything like this, but I may be completely wrong. So far in issue number 2, this story basically revolves around the fact that our military has discovered that there is, it picks up where the movie left off, and that there is a remaining ship, a very large ship they've discovered under the water at the bottom of the ocean, with aliens still alive, aliens still working and creating something. They've been able to discover, a crew was able to sneak in and discover what it, trying to find out what they're doing and why they're there. We don't know that yet in the first 2 issues. So it's good so far. Not as great as those first 2 books that I mentioned. But it's still a pretty good read. I would recommend you picking it up if you're a fan of Independence Day movies. From DC Comics, Green Lantern. Always love me some Hal Jordan. Curious to see now what's going to happen with him and the Corps as we go through this whole new rebirth thing. Currently, Hal is the last remaining Green Lantern Corps member. The others have all vanished and disappeared, and Hal is at this moment in time a fugitive who's being hunted by several different sources, and he also is discovering that this the powers that he has to create with his ring, to create whatever he wants, is now taking over his body, and his body tends to go through this disappearing, not disappearing, but this, I can't think of the word. He's no longer in a physical form kind of thing. And he can't control it. It keeps happening. So he basically turns into something that he would create, is what he looks like. And it keeps happening without his control over it and knowing when and where it's going to happen. So curious to see what's going to happen now with the Rebirth with Hal and the Green Lantern Corps. Batman 51, we're coming to the end of Batman as I understand it, and certainly the end of Scott Snyder and Capullo's run on this. I like this cover a lot. It's a nice cover there. But the best thing I can say about this is so glad to have Bruce Wayne back as Batman, getting rid of that Jim Gordon crap as the Robo-Bat kind of thing. That was just awful and terrible and insulting to fans, I think. You know, all of a sudden, in fact, I want to show you something. I'm going to open this up. Jim Gordon, you know, if you've been reading it, suddenly became this young, athletic, handsome, muscular, crew cut wearing, you know, when he became the Batman, when he filled in, it was like he just suddenly de-aged 30 years and just became this strong, young, you know, muscular guy. And now, all of a sudden, Bruce is talking to Jim. They flashed the bat signal for Batman. And I don't know if you can see, but, you know, he's kind of depicted in the shadows there. But he's back to the Jim Gordon that we all have known for so long. He seems to, you know, his hair's grown out. He's thin. Back to the cigarette smoking cop, you know, that we've kind of always known him to be. I have no idea what they're doing with this. I really don't. Jim seems to have a superpower to be able to age or de-age at will. I have no idea. Speaking of all the Rebirth stuff, if you're not a fan of DC Comics or not reading DC Comics, here is an ad. If you are reading DC Comics at all, you pretty much will see this in all their titles. But here's an ad for the Rebirth universe. You can see some of the characters there, and advertising the Rebirth with a special 80-page issue coming out at the end of the month. And there's one more ad that I wanted to show you in here that I'm very excited about. This has been showing up because it's a new DC title, been showing up in all of the books, and that is Future Quest. I am so excited because this is a team-up series starring all or most of the Hanna-Barbera hero-type characters. You'll see Johnny Quest and Haji and Bandit there, along with Space Ghost, and I cannot remember the kids' names that were with him. You will see Frankenstein Jr. and the Impossibles, all going to be in a team-up series starting this week. As a matter of fact, I saw where issue number 1 is coming out this next week. So I am pumped about Future Quest because I'm a kid that grew up in the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s with all those Hanna-Barbera cartoons. That was our Saturday mornings with Space Ghost and Frankenstein Jr. and Johnny Quest and Moby Dick. That's one that kind of gets forgotten a lot, but I really loved all those. I'm excited about that. Thumbs up for that. If you watch Comic Trips channel, you know every time they give a thumbs up, you get the squeaky noise. I don't have a squeaky noise with me, but we'll just pretend. Y'all can do the squeaky noise every time you see me do the thumbs up. So there you go. All right. Also read Neil Adams' miniseries, The Coming of the Supermen. It's okay. I know some people are going to say, don't you dare bash Neil Adams. I will say that in my opinion, Neil Adams is a much greater artist than he is a storyteller. The artwork is really good. I love his interpretation of Superman and Clark Kent in this, but the storyline just seems to be a rehash of Superman versus some space alien wanting to take over planet Earth. You know, the kind of story that you've read 100 times over, and just not really doing it for me story-wise, but the artwork is great. This is issue number 4 out of 6. So I will continue to collect it because I want to have the entire run, of course, in the collection, but I can't say that I am thrilled to death with the series. Again, I think he's a much better artist. The artwork is great. He's a much better artist to me than he is a storyteller, a writer in this. But that's the Coming of the Supermen. Walking Dead number 154 from Image Comics. Of course, everybody knows what's been going on with Walking Dead, whether you watch the TV show or read the comics or do both. Negan showed up at the end of the series finale on the TV show, and Negan is in full-blown badassery here in the comic books as well. And just like in the series, you never quite know who's going to die, when, and where. No one is safe in this world of The Walking Dead. So continues to be a fantastic read, fantastic story. I look forward to every issue with this. It's usually one of the first books that I grab to read when it shows up at the doorstep. 2 books that I read just this morning, as a matter of fact. This is what I believe I'm told was a one-shot, Doctor Strange: The Last Days of Magic. It is printed with number 1 there on the cover. But basically, this is just a continuation. It's not like it's a separate story. It's just a continuation in a much longer version of what's been going on in the regular series. As a matter of fact, the end of this book says to be continued in Doctor Strange number 7, which is the ongoing series, which I read as well this morning. So I read both of these. And then number 7 says to be continued in number 8. So I'm really, I mean, the story is great. I love what's going on here with Doctor Strange. Basically, there is a race, an element from space, who are trying to destroy magic in all of its forms throughout not only the Earth, but through all the universe. So all sorcerers, magicians, witches, practitioners of magic are being killed and destroyed. The tools and spells that they used are being destroyed so that there will be no magic and they can conquer the universe. And Doctor Strange is caught up in all that as well. I'm just not sure why the need to do an expanded book when it really could have just continued on. And the fact that they charged us, the cover price was $5.99. Of course, I got a discount as a subscriber with Midtown Comics, but you know, I don't know why the comic publishers do what they do. Sometimes they're worse than politicians, I think, as bad as trying to figure out why they do what they do. And we will not get into a political debate on my channel. Anywho, it was a great story and love what's going on, and just couldn't figure out why the need to put that into a special $5.99 book. But it's a great series. If you didn't get it, but you're a reader of Doctor Strange, you really do need to get it, because there will be a gap from issue 6 to issue 7 without having that special book in there. The last one that I've read so far out of the pool is Ms. Marvel, number 6. Again, Kamala provides us with great humor and great passion as she tries to figure out how to be a teenager superhero and go to school and be a part of her family life and honor her parents and try to impress the Avengers all at the same time. Fun book. I really, really love this. At the tail end of the book, there is a cameo appearance by Tony Stark as Iron Man, and they have a nice little conversation where he encourages her and supports her to not only be an Avenger but to get a life and be a teenager, be a kid. Don't be afraid to do that, and don't be afraid to call for help. It's a real nice moment. I really appreciated it and enjoyed that moment where you kind of saw Tony Stark be not so much self-centered as he normally tends to be, but to be very encouraging to this young girl who certainly needed his help at that moment in time. It was a nice moment. Okay, now to the books that I have not read yet. This is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 57 from IDW. I just started reading the Turtles about 7 or 8 issues ago. Of course, I was a big fan of the 80s cartoon. I have those in my collection. I know these are based on a different kind, and I'm enjoying them, but I'm enjoying the Turtles. I'm enjoying the characterizations. The artwork is great. The story gets kind of clouded to me, and honest to goodness, I'm sitting here right now trying to remember exactly where we are in the storyline and the plot, and I'm drawing a blank. That's how unimpressive the storyline is to me right now at the moment. Of course, I am getting old, and I am reading a ton of books right now, so and comics aren't the only things that I read on a regular basis. So, but I'm going to hang with it for a while, and maybe the old mind will come back. Also from IDW, the X-Files, and I love this cover. Now, in this particular haul that I have, there were especially 2 books that had covers that just blew me away, and this is the first of those 2. I just love this cover of Mulder and Scully. I love this surreal sort of design and look, and I just think it's an awesome, amazing, beautiful cover. If you remember, the X-Files TV show lasted 9 seasons. When IDW started their series back up, they called it X-Files Season 10. That lasted for 2 years, and then about 5 or 6 issues ago, they moved to number 11, or Season 11. But now all of a sudden we get an issue number 1 again, and I haven't read this or opened it up yet. And it's an extra large $4.99 book, so I'm not sure if this is another one-shot or why it's they felt the need to call this number 1. But either way, just look at that cover, man. That's an awesome X-Files cover. If you are a fan of Mulder and Scully at all, you will be appreciative of that. Detective Comics number 52. Haven't read it yet. Again, I'm waiting to see what happens with the Rebirth. That's a good story title. Horrors from the Crypt. But yeah, in this one, Jim Gordon is still portraying Batman. You know, it used to be that Detective and Batman kind of tied in together, so I'm not sure what's up with that, but we'll see what happens. I pray to God that they have Bruce Wayne return there as the Batman. Flash number 51. In the last issue, number 50, we had the last page appearance of the Riddler. And so here we go. Flash is at the mercy of the Riddler. So it'll be nice to see the Riddler in a different world other than just Batman as well. Enjoying the Flash. Alright, here's one that I thought should have been over at Christmas time and continues to just drag on. The 7-issue miniseries from Grant Morrison called Claus, and this is from Boom Studios. It's a Christmas story. It's a retelling of the origin of Santa Claus in a very Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings kind of way. There's lots of magic going on and that kind of stuff, but bird just flew into the window over there. Poor bird. You know, they're coming out with these issues, it seems, They may be every month, but they seem like they're like every 6 weeks or something like that. So they're kind of a little bit slow, and we're just on issue 5 of 7, and yet the series started back in the fall, and I really thought, you know, being about Santa Claus, they'd have it all done, wrapped up by Christmas. And here we are, middle of May, and we're still got 2 more issues to go. But it's a great story. It's a fun story. If you like Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones kind of things, you will love this series. And you know, you may want to wait till the trade comes out on this. But Claus by Grant Morrison. It's obviously Grant Morrison. Things are quirky, things are weird, things are mysterious, you know, that kind of stuff. Faith, number 4 from Valiant Comics. Yeah, I couldn't remember who the publisher was. Faith, of course, represents people more like me, who aren't the best looking, best built, best, you know. She's an overweight superhero. Let's just call it what it is, right? She's not the skinny, buxomy, hourglass figured superhero that we normally get in comics, which has strong appeal for not only a lot of female readers, but for people like me as well, who you know, don't look like superheroes. So I've been enjoying this, and I believe that there's an ongoing going to happen now with Faith, because the popularity of this title has been so strong. I think they were kind of waiting to see where that was going to go. I have Amazing Spider-Man number 11 and number 12. We've had Spider-Man titles come out in the last 2 weeks, each of the last 2 weeks. So again, I haven't read these yet, so you know, I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to stick with this title. I want to be reading Spider-Man. I do not like the Tony Stark version of Peter Parker that's going on in this title currently. I tried to read Spidey for 2 or 3 issues, and then it became so kiddie. It wasn't an adult Spider-Man that I was wanting to read, so you know, I gave that up after a couple of issues there. It was demonstrating it was not going to be what I wanted it to be, and neither does this title continue to be what I want it to be. The artwork is okay, but I just wish we could have a good old-fashioned Peter Parker Spider-Man, the poor, you know, kid, high school or college age kid. I long for that. Of course, I have all the back issues in long boxes to read when I want to, but it sure would be nice to have a title that would be, you know, good storytelling. And I've heard other people complain about this title, so hopefully you guys know what I'm trying to say. Spider-Woman number 6 is a fun title. She recently gave birth to her baby. I'm trying to remember. I don't believe yet we know who the dad is. But she's ready to get back into action after finally giving birth. Fun book, fun title. I highly recommend Spider-Woman. And as you guys can see, I'm reading a lot of female-led titles. Just want you to know I'm on your side. Here was the second great cover. You ready for this one? I wish I had a poster of this cover. I hope they make one that I can pick up. Issue number 6 of Daredevil with a